Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Gintong Aklat Awards 2020. For the past 4 decades, the Book Development Association of the Philippines has been honoring publishers for overall excellence in bookmaking. This year's awards wouldn't have been possible without the support and assistance of the National Book Development Board. And here to start our program is the President of BDAP, Ms. Annie Almario.
Una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako sa NBDB sa kanilang pagiging matibay at maaasahang katuwang ng BDAP sa napakaraming proyekto, kabilang na itong Gintong Aklat Awards. Kung meron mang itinuro ang pandemyang ito sa BDAP, ito ay nakailangang ipaglaban ang industriya ng libro. Hindi lamang dahil napakaraming taong nakasalalay ang kabuhayan sa paggawa ng libro, kundi dahil napakahalaga ng libro ng panitikan sa panahon ng pandemya. Ang pagbasa ang naging libangan natin, minsay tanggulan, at lagi-laging kanlungan simula nang ma-lockdown tayong lahat. Kaya naman kapuri-puri at laking pasasalamat ko na nagpatuloy sa kanilang trabaho kahit mahirap ang ating mga autor, mga designer, mga illustrator, mga editor, mga proofreader, salespeople, printer, at mga publisher. Ang pagpupursige ng buong book industry ang pinagpupugayan natin ngayong araw. Ang tibay at tatag nating lahat ang siyang dahilan na sa kabila ng COVID-19, napakaraming mauhusay na libro ang nailunsad. Sa lahat ng naging hurado ngayong taon sa Gintong Aklat, maraming salamat po. At sa 23 na publisher na nakilahok ngayong taon, pagbati. Sa mga nagwagi, patuloy kayong mamayagpag. Mabuhay ang BDAP at ang librong Filipino.
Thank you for that opening message, Annie. We're so happy to tell you that this year, 23 publishers nominated books to Gintong Aklat Awards 2020, and the wealth of literature was simply overwhelming. BDAP would like to thank these 23 publishers who participated. Aside from these publishers, we also have esteemed judges to thank for. Thank you to all of these literary experts. And now, let's proceed to the most awaited part of this event, the awarding of Gintong Aklat 2020. The first category is Poetry in Filipino. The finalist for this category is the University of Santo Tomas Publishing House for their book, Damagan, written by Alan Popa and published by University of Santo Tomas Publishing House. Ayon sa huradong si Vim Nadera, mulang amphora hanggang zoo, ganon kalawak ang saklaw ng kalipunan ng tula na ito na kung tutuusin ay may 65 lamang. Subalit ang lalim nito ang bumubukod sa mga tula at tumatangi sa makata nito. Di umano ang damagan, kapwa ang tula at ang aklat ay para sa isang tao lamang. Pero dahil nakikita ng mga bumabasa ang kanilang mga sarili kay Ben, ito ay hindi para sa kanya. Ang tula ay naging pag-aari na ng bawat mambabasa. Ito ang kapangyarihan ng nakamamanghang makatang naghahanap ng kalaro. Walang iniwan sa isang punong hitik na hitik sa mga alitaptap. The winner is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Mga Tula, 1965 to 1989, authored by Rolando S. Tino. Judge Merly M. Alunan states that Rolando Tino sees his country with clear and honest eyes, with compassion, anger, despair, tenderness, embracing pain and sorrow, beauty and grace. loving all without exclusion, without flinching. He sings full-voiced and strong, this poet of the Filipino, both of the language and of the people.
Mabansang alagad ng sining para sa teatro at panitikan, si Rolando Tino ay tubong-tondo. Hindi lamang siya dakilang makata, kundi isa ring mahusay na mandudula, aktor, direktor, kritiko, tagapagsalin. Bahagi siya ng grupong mga makatang bagay na nag-alsa laban sa romantikong pagtula. Isang institusyon sa Universidad ng Ateneo kung saan sinimulan at itinayo niya ang Departamento ng Pilipino. Kasama ng buong Ateneo Press, nagpapasalamat ako sa pagkilalang ito ng Gintong Aklat Awards sa larangan ng tula.
Congratulations, Ateneo de Manila University Press! The next category is Poetry in English. The finalist for this category is Ateneo de Manila University Press for their book, Marawi and Other Poems by Simeon Dumdum Jr. According to Judge Muki Katigbak La Cuesta, the light-hearted verses in Marawi may seem to be at cross purposes with the gravitas of the title, but perhaps this is the collection's bravest point, that despite the political terror that plagued the nation and the world, we are largely indifferent to their effects. This book serves as both a lyrical exposition of our indifference as well as a remembrance of our humanity. The winner is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Di Achichuk, Poems and Images from Batanes by Dorian S. Merina. Judge Gemino H. Abad mentioned that he has no doubt that the author is among our best poets today. He forges his own path through the lexical wilderness of language and makes his own clearing. There are no word breaks. Here's Karina Bolasco, director of the Ateneo de Manila University Press, once again.
After a decade of journalism par excellence in New York, Dorian Merina got a Fulbright grant to recover, study, and preserve the Laji, the oral poetic tradition of the Ibatan of Batanes. He is a journalist, poet, and teacher, and as a graduate student was mentored by our very own Sheila Coronel at the Columbia School of Journalism. And it was on one of his visits to his hometown in Batanes that he felt the strong pull to settle back, and he didn't put up a fight. The Achichuk, Poems and Images from Batanes is a beautiful, moving example of the poetry of place. It names both the place and the collection. On behalf of Ateneo de Manila University Press, I thank the Gintong Aklat Awards for this honor, and we invite you to read the book as lyric geography.
Our next category is Science and Technology. The winner for this category is University of the Philippines Press for the book Sakunang Darating, Sakloloy Tayo Rin, Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Handbook for Academic Institutions, the University of the Philippines Experience, authored by Ferdinand C. Llanes, Violeta V. Bautista, Maria Leonora D. L. Francisco, Alfredo Mahar Francisco A. Lagmay, Emmanuel M. Luna, Benito M. Pacheco, and Eric S. M. Talens. Judge Richard Burgos says, the content of the book is suited to its target audience. The terms used are not too simple and not too difficult. The fonts used are appropriate. The paper is of good quality, and the overall presentation is great. Congratulations, UP Press! Here's a category that will definitely make us hungry: food. Finalist for this category is Central Book Supply, Inc. for the book The Tausug Cook by Abdul Aziz Hamsain. According to Judge Cloud Tayag, this book is like a jigsaw puzzle. The Tausug Cookbook provides an important missing piece in the making of a culinary quilt that comprises our diverse cuisine. May this be an inspiration to the other ethno-linguistic Moro groups to share with us their own delicious stories. The winner for the food category is Anvil Publishing for the book Lasa ng Republika, Dila at Bandila, authored by Ige Ramos. According to Judge Regina M. Aspiras, Dila at Bandila is a book worth reading by anyone who loves food and is Filipino. Ige's short stories are brilliantly written and give a better perspective of who you are by the food you eat. Dila at Bandila is the type of book that leaves you informed and proud to be Pinoy. Here to accept the award for Anvil Publishing is the winning book's author, Ige Ramos.
Maraming salamat sa karangalan at pagkilala sa Dila at Bandila. Unang-una sa pamunuan ng Book Development Association of the Philippines, kina Joey Bakiran, Ayer Arguelles at Jenny Orillos, ang mga bumasa ng original na manuscript. Mga dating kawani ng Anvil Publishing na naging katuwang sa pagbuo ng libro, sina Shah Hernandez, Meryl Medel, Paige Jose, Hannah Go, Trish Antonio, Cora Ventura, Sara Villareno, Jordan P. Santos ang nagdisenyo ng libro, former General Manager Andrea Pasion Flores, at higit sa lahat kay Sandra Ramos Padilla para sa pagkakataon ito. Marami pong salamat.
Our next category is Drama in Filipino. The winner for this category is Ateneo de Manila University Press for Two Women as Specters of History, Lakambini and Indigo Child, written by Rodi Vera. Ayon sa huradong si Jose Victor Torres, ang karangalang ito ay iginagawad para sa kanyang mga dula na nagbibigay tugon sa kakayahan ng kababaihang Filipino sa harap ng mga di pangkaraniwang pagsubok sa iba't ibang panahon ng ating kasaysayan. Here is the acceptance speech from our winner.
Rodi Vera writes of Two Women, a film script for a film not yet produced, about Gregorio de Jesus on whose body betrayals and injustices are inscribed, and of a second woman, an ex-detainee, an activist whose body bears the trauma from the electric shock torture of the Marcos dictatorship. Two women of two different centuries, ghosts of our history. Thank you, Gintong Aklat Awards, for this recognition in the drama genre.
Our next category has been especially meaningful throughout these pandemic times: inspiration. Finalist for this category is San Anselmo Publications, Inc., for their book Confessions of an Ex-Jesuit, authored by Dr. Ibarra Gonzalez. One of the judges, Sister Mary John Mananzan, says that Confessions of an Ex-Jesuit by Nim Gonzalez is a very honest and interesting reflection of his life as a Jesuit priest and his courageous decision to follow God's strange call to leave the society, and is venturing into a totally different vocation, from a journalist and media person to a non-traditional alternative healer. It is an inspiring invitation to be radically open to life's challenges. The winner for the category of inspiration is OMF Literature Inc. for their book A Night Bird Sings of Blindness and Fear by Janina Marie Rivera. According to Judge Jeje Cruz Suge, it reads like a coming-of-age novel, one that mixes elements of pain and anxiety with wisdom and gratitude, with science and helpful facts, and with authentic faith that does not preach. It entertains, it teaches, it heals, and as the foreword says, it inspires readers to find courage and strength to fight whatever it is that one is suffering. Here to accept the award for OMF Literature is their Publishing and Communications Director, Ina Reyes.
Maraming salamat po, Book Development Association of the Philippines, sa karangalang ito. This Gintong Aklat Award means a lot to us at OMF Literature. As a Christian publisher, we desire to honor God through the books that we create for our fellow Filipinos. We thank the Lord for the talented team behind A Nightbird Sings of Blindness and Fear, author Janina Rivera, cover illustration artist Ivan Riverente, acquisitions editor Michelin Christine Alagao, project editor Joshine Bersales, book designer and art director Nick Sana, typesetter Marian Ventura, and our printer EasyTech Commercial. We are also grateful to our OMF Lit family, our board of trustees, and our management and staff, whose commitment to the ministry of the printed word has inspired our publishing team to produce beautiful and compelling books like A Nightbird Sings of Blindness and Fear. Purihin ang Panginoon.
The next category is fiction in English. Finalist in this category is Anvil Publishing for their book Voyager and Other Fictions written by Butch Dalisay. Charleston Ong says, this collection of over 40 stories spanning over 40 years of literary fecundity confirms Jose Dalisay's place among masters of the modern short story. From conventional narratives to genre-defying tropes, this book is a treasure trove of contemporary Philippine short fiction and boasts some of the finest stories written in the English language. And the winner for fiction is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Tiempo Muerto, authored by Caroline Howe. According to Judge Susan Lara, in Tiempo Muerto, the author presents a world carefully constructed without being contrived, that is solidly rooted in contemporary reality, yet sadly timeless, an exploration of the themes of oppression, elusive justice, hunger in all senses. We see this world through the eyes of two women in whom we are emotionally invested, thanks to the author's deft characterization, who inhabit seemingly disparate worlds that nonetheless meet in a moment of clarity and self-knowledge. Let's hear from our winning publisher.
This powerful debut novel, set in the dead season of 1985 in the Visayas, is by renowned academic and scholar Carol Howe, who now teaches at the Center for Southeast Asian Studies, University of Kyoto. Her 9 books on issues of identity, culture, nation, history, the Chinese question, and on literature and literary criticism are almost all classics and National Book Award winners. And for such work, she was awarded last year's Grant Goodman Prize. Ateneo de Manila University Press is proud to be the forum for her robust and rigorous scholarship and her powerful creative imagination. After all, she was the valedictorian of her creative writing class at the University of the Philippines. Thank you, Gintong Aklat Awards, for this singular honor.
Let's take a break from giving out these prestigious awards and listen to delightful excerpts from Kanayunan, based on Bahay Kubo, by Jose Valdez. Let's all listen to guitarist par excellence, Adric Cristobal. Thank you, Adric, for that masterful playing. So let's go back to where we left off. Our next category is fiction in Filipino. Our finalist for this category is University of the Philippines Press for their book, The Next Great Tagalog Novel at Iba Pang Kwento by Alan N. Derain.
Sabi nga ng may akda tungkol sa aklat na ito, at kung may susulat ko ang kwentong ito na kung tutuusin ay kwento naming lahat na nagtangkang magsulat, hinding-hindi ko ito ilalabas sa kahit saang publikasyon. Posthumous siguro pero hinding-hindi sa buhay na ito. Kapag patay na ako, pwede. O kapag nakasulong na siguro ang Pilipinas mula sa panahon ng kapitalismo patungo sa bagong dispensasyon. Dahil kung gagawin ko ang paglabas ng ganitong kwento, ay parang pinasabog ko na rin ang sariling bahay na nagsisilong sa akin. Kaya sa ganitong pagkukuda ng mga hinanakit na lang ako, maaring magkasya sa ngayon.
The winner for fiction in Filipino is UP Press for their book Kulto ni Santiago, authored by Christian Sendon Cordero. Ayon sa huradong si Joselito de los Reyes, ipinamumukha sa atin ng walang humpay na pag-agos ng kwento ng Kulto ni Santiago, ang kamangha-mangha at kasindak-sindak, ang kakatwa at katatawanan, mula sa mga guni-guni ng mga tauhan at pagkakataong muslak. Itinatanghal ng aklat ang mga kwento ng mga taong minsan nating nakilala sa totoong buhay, ng mga paniniwala at pagsampalatayang pangahas pa rin nating inaaruga. Sa ubod ng ating pagkatao, tabunan man ng lohika at katwiran, ng paliwanag at katarungan. Let's hear it from Jerry Los Baños, Deputy Director of UP Press.
On behalf of the UP Press, I wish to extend my gratitude to the Book Development Association of the Philippines for bestowing the Gintong Aklat Award on two of our titles, Kulto ni Santiago by Christian Cordero and Sa Kunang Darating, Sakloloy Tayo Rin, a disaster risk reduction and management handbook edited by Ferdinand Llanes. The UP Press has always been at the forefront when it comes to the high quality of its book's content, be it literary or scholarly. And it is with no small measure of pride and joy that we accept this recognition of the excellence of our design and production quality as well. All this is testament to the hard work and dedication of the UP Press staff, especially our editors and book designers, who continue to strive during these difficult times to bring the best creative and academic publications to readers across the Philippines and beyond. Gratitude is due as well to the university's administration and its officials, whose constant support we have always come to rely upon. So again, thank you, BIDAP. We are one with you in the quest to produce Philippine books of the highest possible caliber.
Our next category is Social Sciences. Finalist is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Clothing the Colony, 19th Century Philippine Sartorial Culture, 1820 to 1896, by Stephanie Koo. Judge Alex Magno says that Stephanie Koo produced an amazing book harnessing the synergy of fashion, history, and social science, enhanced by readable text and excellent book design. Examining how Filipinos dressed in the late Spanish colonial period, she narrates class, colonialism, and culture as a tightly woven fabric where each element illuminates the others. The winner for Social Sciences is Vibal Group, Inc. for the book Philippine Cartography, authored by Carlos Quirino, edited by Carlos Madrid and Leovino Maria Garcia. According to Judge Milagros Guerrero, in 1959, the eminent historian and national artist Carlos Quirino published a limited edition of his Philippine Cartography, 1320 to 1899. Dr. Carlos Madrid has produced a resplendent fourth edition, a treasure to keep. Kudos to Dr. Madrid, whose excellent editing and critical annotations, additions of more than 450 maps, 3 significant essays, as well as the most extensive bibliography of more than 1,600 Philippine cartographic materials, make this volume his own erudite contribution to the prodigious task of mapping the Philippines.
To accept the award is Vibal Foundation's Program Director, Christine Mandigma, Carlos Madrid Alvarez Pinier, Editor of Philippine Cartography's 4th edition, and Cynthia Denden Quirino, daughter of Carlos Quirino.
On behalf of Vibal Foundation, I would like to thank the BDAP for awarding the Gintong Aklat Award for Social Sciences to the 4th edition of Philippine Cartography, authored by National Artist for Historical Literature Carlos Quirino and edited by Dr. Carlos Madrid. This landmark study of the history of Philippine maps was first published in 1959. In the 4th edition published by Vibal Foundation, we have tried to keep its content fresh and relevant while enhancing Carlos Quirino's original text with extensive editorial annotations, scholarly essays, reproductions of over 450 maps, and a large bibliography of over 1,600 cartographic entries relating to the Philippines. It is rare for a Philippine book to enter its 7th decade of being continuously in print. This recognition inspires us to continue publishing culturally significant, historically important books for the mind and the eye in order to create an engaging, enriching, and intellectual universe of knowledge for Filipino and world readers alike. Once again, our sincerest gratitude to BDAP for this signal honor.
The work of national artist Carlos Quirino is a product of extensive research. We can only imagine how difficult it must have been for him to research during an era of analog publications and obscure archives, as well as the limited scholarship of the time. Thanks to his groundwork, we have been able to bring his mighty book into the threshold of 7th decade. This edition that you are now awarding has more than 1,000 new maps to its database, relating how several key maps such as the Murillo Velarde even contributed to the recent arbitral ruling on behalf of the Philippine government over the West Philippine Sea. With these substantial additions and 2 more chapters, one of them about the so-called Selden map and the other one about the Comisión Hidrográfica de Filipinas, we have been able to burnish the rough diamond of his Edición Príncipe, and we have to thank him as a visionary for his groundbreaking work that largely helps contemporary authors and readers to understand not only the Philippine geography but also Southeast Asian history and geography as well. I would like to express, therefore, my deep appreciation to the Book Development Association of the Philippines for recognizing the editorship behind Philippine Cartography, the 4th edition. Maraming salamat po.
On behalf of our father, Carlos Quirino, National Artist for Historical Literature, and our family, we are honored to receive this Gintong Aklat Award 2021 for our father's book, Philippine Cartography. It was his obra maestra for what he considered his best work, a labor of love. We would like to thank the Book Development Association of the Philippines for recognizing our father's significant contributions to Philippine cartography, including Philippine history, geography, and bibliography. If I may just share, the maps found in this book were used as pieces of evidence that helped us win our arbitration case versus China in our West Philippine Sea. I am sure my father's spirit is with us as he laughs with joy in seeing that his works continue to awaken national consciousness and pride in our younger generation. We are grateful to Mr. Gas Vibal and his Filipiniana publications for the republication of our father's books, of his more important works, so that the current and future generations of Filipinos can learn and appreciate Philippine history and culture. Maraming salamat po, and mabuhay ang Pilipinas!
Our next category is Arts and Humanities. We have 3 finalists for this category. The first finalist is Ateneo de Manila University Press for their book, Interpreting Rizal. Did Padre Damaso rape Pia Alba? Reticence, Revelation, and Revolution in Jose Rizal's novels. Daydreaming about Rizal and Techo on Asianism as Network and Fantasy by Caroline Howe.
According to Judge Ana Labrador, in Daydreaming About Rizal and Techo, both Howe and Takashi Shiraishi present a cogitation between Dr. Jose Rizal and the Japanese novelist Techo Suehiro on the historical phenomenon of Asianism. As they claimed, while Techo has subscribed to it in his novels and the notion of Asianist solidarity, Rizal, however, did not. The authors explore these through their writings and their encounters. Its results, as we read through their accounts, are as fascinating as they are imperative. We are brought to a world that they inhabited and visit their proving grounds, making us understand their motivations as well as their importance as novelists of their time. Our second finalist is the Center for Art, New Ventures and Sustainable Development, or Canvas, for their book, Why Words Matter, Why We Read and Why We Write, authored by Butch Dalisay and illustrated by Marcel Antonio. Here is multi-awarded writer Butch Dalisay's poetic reflection, originally delivered in 2017 at TEDx Diliman, and now complemented by the uniquely lyrical art of Marcel Antonio on reading, writing, language, literature, and the enduring power of words. The third finalist is Anvil Publishing for their book, Hans Christian Andersen and Jose Rizal, written by Jan Top Christensen. Two literary giants from two corners of the globe. One, an internationally beloved spinner of fairy tales. The other, a national hero by way of his subversive pen. History brings them together in this landmark volume, compiling Jose Rizal's translation of Hans Christian Andersen's tales in Filipino, with incisive essays from Eisnar Stig Asgard, Katrina Gutierrez, Jos Norgard Franzen, and Ambeth R. Ocampo.
The winner for Arts and Humanities is DLSU Publishing House for their book, Direct, Essays on Filipino Filmmakers, written by Clodoaldo Del Mundo Jr. and Shirley O. Lua.
Judge Ana Maria Teresa P. Labrador has this to say about the winning book. A valuable addition to the dearth of references on local filmmaking, Direct discloses intimate vignettes on the background and processes of those who steer the production of many compelling films. As storytellers, film directors play a central role in establishing a moving, visual picture that makes viewers experience emotions, create context, expose plots, and turn us into admirers of actors. Editors Clodoaldo Del Mundo Jr. and Shirley O. Lua have successfully made a cherished reference that places the inquiry into Filipino films at the forefront of Philippine studies.
Here is a message from our winner, Dr. David Jonathan Bayot, Executive Publisher of DLSU Publishing House.
President of the Book Development Association of the Philippines, Ms. Ani Rosa Almario, distinguished members of the association, my dear colleagues and friends in Philippine Studies, Philippine Publishing, as well as in the serious endeavor of making book matters in this country and beyond. On behalf of the De La Salle University Publishing House, I would like to let all of you know that I am honored beyond words by the gesture of the association's naming of a DLSU book publication, Direct, Essays on Filipino Filmmakers, edited by Clodoaldo Del Mundo Jr. and Shirley O. Lua, as the recipient of the 2020 Gintong Aklat Awards for Excellence in the category of Arts and Humanities. I can't let this event pass without expressing gratitude again to the Book Development Association of the Philippines for its worthy endeavor to catalyze conversations, cross-currents, and collaborations to push Philippine publishing to global competitiveness. Thank you.
Natural and Applied Sciences is our next category. The winner for this category is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Investing in the Unseen, Cases on Biodiversity Conservation by Benjamin C. Bagadion Jr. Judge Dr. Benjamin Vallejo says that with the biodiversity crisis as our greatest environmental problem, this book gives us hope for the future with people's participation. Here is Ateneo Press's acceptance speech.
There are more than 200 protected areas in the country. This book by Benjamin Bagation, who led this study at the Asian Institute of Management, showcases best practice in the management and conservation of the more prominent of these protected areas, such as the Tubataha Marine Park in Palawan, the Olango Wildlife Sanctuary in Cebu, and the Pujada Bay Seascape in Davao Oriental. It has teaching cases which hold up models for ecotourism. We are grateful for this Gintong Aklat Award in Natural and Applied Sciences.
The next category is self-help. The finalist for this category is Summit Publishing Company, Inc., for their book, Read My Lips, What It Takes to Build a World-Class Homegrown Brand, by Risa Manangkil Trillo. According to Judge Howie Severino, Read My Lips is an engaging, useful guide, in addition to the valuable advice based on her own accomplishments and struggles. The author spotlights key lessons from some of the most successful names in Philippine business. The winner for this category is Summit Publishing Company for their book, Existential Courage, a survival guide for your existential crisis and all the ones after that, by Ariane Serafico. Judge Kathy Sanchez Babao says that this book, Existential Courage, is an interactive demystifier of anxieties that is sure to provide readers of all ages with the tools to escape the trappings of their individual psyches. The book manages to be accessible, entertaining, and informative to a wide audience, as well as timely to our current climate of introspection and need for paradigm shifts, both big and small. Let's hear it from our winner, Summit Publishing, represented by their author, Ariane Serafico.
Hi, my name is Ariane Serafico and I'm the author of Existential Courage, and I'm very honored to accept this award on behalf of my publisher, Summit Books, and of course on behalf of my creative team who truly helped me bring this book to life. Together with these incredible people, from the very beginning, we collaborated, experimented, and we really tried to push and innovate and challenge the notion of what a self-help book could be like in this day and age, and that made the whole bookmaking process such a fulfilling journey. And what makes this even more special is that Existential Courage didn't start off as a book idea. It started as an online learning community of real people who, through the years, have shared their experiences and their stories of what it's like to try and find your place and purpose in this world. And so I dedicate this award to the members of my community.
The next category is Creative Nonfiction in Filipino. The finalist is University of Santo Tomas Publishing House for their book, Ang Tagalabas ng Panitikan, by Chuck Berry Pascual.
Ayon sa huradong si Sarge Lacuesta, ang tagalabas sa panitikan ay isang napaka-honest at disarmingly charming na libro. Ang sarap basahin, ang sarap pag-isipan at pag-usapan, at ang sarap basahin uli. Tagalabas ka man o tagaloob, tuturuan ka ni Chuck Berry Pascual kung paano at kailangan mag-dimensionalize, mag-direct to the point, at dumiskarte ng swabe. Ang librong ito ay mayaman sa insight, mayaman sa style, mayaman sa kalandian at kalibugan. In short, tulad nga ni Madonna, bitches.
The winner for this category is Ateneo de Naga University Press for the book Kapag Sumalupa ang Gunita, by Rogelio Sicat. Ayon sa huradong si Romulo Paquiran Jr., makintal na napaghabi-habi ng Kapag Sumalupa ang Gunita, ang mga larawan at tagpo mula sa kasaysayan, mga matalas na kislap-diwa ng sensitibong alagad ng sining, at makalipunang pagmumuni ng Filipinong manunulat sa kanyang matapat na pagtatalambuhay na sa kahulihan ay nagpapahayag at naghahangad ng higit na makatarungang pamumuhay ng Filipino sa paghaharaya ng panitikan at malikhaing pagsulat. Let's hear a message from our winning publisher, Father Wilmer Joseph Tria, Director of ADNU Press.
Marhay na banggi sa Indugabos, it is our joy to accept this recognition from the Book Development Association of the Philippines by honoring one of our books by the late and eminent Filipino writer, Rogelio Sica, with his Publishers Award. We are humbled and inspired to continue the mission and vision of Ateneo de Naga University Press to continue to promote Philippine arts, literatures, and cultures, particularly in the regions. We hope that our readers, our students and teachers, our librarians and school heads will continue to support the press by buying and reading our books. There is no greater award than this, to have our books come to life in the heart of our readers. We share this recognition to our writers and editors, translators, and artists. We thank the Luna family for their trust to the University Press. Mabuhay ang panitikang Filipino, mabuhay ang mga manunulat at publisher sa Pilipinas.
We are down to our last two categories. Here is the category for creative nonfiction in English. The finalist is Ateneo de Manila University Press for the book Diplomat Scholar, a biography of Leon Maria Guerrero, authored by Erwin S. Fernandez.
From the book's foreword by Maria Elisa Jaime Lau. While Leon Maria Guerrero is more known for his translations to English of Jose Rizal's two novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, his perspective as a diplomat trying to conduct diplomacy for a new nation is very unique, specific, and extremely valuable. It captures for the reader the Philippine state's growing pains from the vantage point of diplomacy and international relations, and from the point of view of decision makers and implementers of Philippine foreign policy.
The winner for this category is Ateneo de Manila University Press for their book Made in Japan, Stories of Japanese Filipino Children, edited by Ray Ventura. According to Judge Criselda Yabes, from the voices of mixed children, Made in Japan is honest, poignant, and bittersweet. You may want to feel sorry for the outcasts, but their endearing acceptance of their circumstance is written with simplicity and clarity, that it would make you see them as characters of strength. This collection of essays are the treasures of youth that should be part of the Philippines' socio-cultural phenomena of today. Here's Karina Bolasco once again.
In this book, Ray Ventura edits and collects 16 essays by young Filipino-Japanese writers who write spontaneously and honestly of their journeys and struggles without anger or bitterness. This is Ray Ventura's fourth book with Ateneo Press, and he broke into the book scene in 1992 with the classic Underground in Japan, where he has lived for 20 years. Thank you, Gintong Aklat Awards, for the recognition.
And last but not the least, we have the category of design. Ateneo de Manila University Press was a finalist twice in this category. The first for its book, Interpreting Rizal. Did Padre Damaso Ray Pia Alba, Reticence, Revelation, and Revolution in Jose Rizal's novels, Daydreaming About Rizal, and Techo on Asianism as Network and Fantasy, designed by Julian Y. de la Serna, head of editorial of ADMU Press. The second time for its book, The First Five, a new collection of Southeast Asian writing designed by Fu Pei Ying.
Judge Dan Matutina says this about the cover of Interpreting Rizal. Did Padre Damaso rape Pia Alba? Reticence, revelation, and revolution in Jose Rizal's novels. Daydreaming about Rizal and Techo on Asianism as network and fantasy. The cover is simple and clever by encouraging curiosity in the reader. The way a part of the title spills over to the back cover guides people to flip the book and see that it contains another essay on Rizal and his writings. On the other hand, the first 5 is an anthology of poetry and prose from the first 5 founding members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations: Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand.
And the winner for design is Anvil Publishing for their book, Hans Christian Andersen and Jose Rizal, From Denmark to the Philippines, designed by R. Jordan Santos. Judge Dan Matutina says this about the winning book. The book brings you on a visual journey from cover to cover like a storybook. Every design element, from the paper-cut artwork to the drop caps and illustrated details, enrich the reading experience. Here is Anvil Publishing's president, Maureen Alexandra Ramos Padilla.
Good day, everyone. In the midst of a global pandemic, Anvil Publishing has strived to produce the best books possible to inspire more people to read and to tell the Filipino story and experience. Each book we publish has been a victory. To receive an award for one is a great honor. Thank you to the Anvil team for your hard work and dedication in working for books. To Ambassador Jan Top Christensen, thank you for introducing this book to us and for bridging the relations between Denmark and the Philippines through this book. To our contributors like Ambet Ocampo, thank you for your wonderful insights. To our director Jordan Santos, shout out to you for this exceptional visualization that you created for the design of this book. Thank you to the Book Development Association of the Philippines and the Gintong Aklat Awards for this recognition of our books. Let's continue to read and discover our stories and learn more about our culture through books.
It is but fitting that we end these ceremonies with a message from the agency that ensured our Gintong Aklat Awards would happen despite everything. Here is the tireless and dedicated chair of the NBDB, Mr. Dante Ang Jr.
On behalf of the National Book Development Board, congratulations to the recipients of the 2021 Gintong Aklat Awards. We applaud this and other initiatives of the Book Development Association of the Philippines to elevate the quality of locally published books and to promote the works of Filipino authors, book designers, artists, and others who help bring their creations to readers. As you know, the NBDB has been partnering with BDAP and other stakeholders to strengthen the Philippine book publishing industry. This is an important endeavor because quality books do more than promote Filipino talent and culture. They also generate jobs, from storytellers to editors, book designers, printing personnel, then downstream to delivery and marketing. That is why the NBDB has ramped up capacity building programs and has continued to develop new markets for local books and services offered by all those in the publishing value chain through participation in international book fairs. In fact, the NBDB representatives just returned from Germany, where the Philippines had a booth at the Frankfurt Book Fair. As you know, the NBDB is working to be the guest of honor at Frankfurt, an initiative started by the past Board of Governors that included your president, Ms. Annie Almari. Your current board and the Secretariat hope to contribute our part, which is to secure the Philippine bid for guest of honor, hopefully soon. In the future, we wish to continue working closely with BDAP and other associations of stakeholders in promoting Filipino works. We also hope to collaborate with BDAP and others here to help Congress craft better policies that can help realize our collective dream of a strong and vibrant book publishing industry. Besides generating employment, as mentioned earlier, perhaps success can be quantified in a higher value-added contribution of the industry to the total economy of the Philippines. In ways harder to measure but no less important, a healthy book industry means a better grasp and appreciation of our Filipino identity and passing on our stories to young and future generations. Our view at NBDB is that we could also share our talents and creative output with the world in an effort to weave our stories into the human tapestry. Admittedly, the ideas shared here are lofty, especially since my tenure is short and NBDB is a small agency trying to make a large impact. But as Michelangelo once said, the greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. In partnership with BDAP and other stakeholders, I can predict with confidence that we can advance the guideposts in a meaningful way. Once more, congratulations to the winners and to BDAP for carrying on despite the pandemic. And from NBDB, warmest regards and best wishes to you all.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Chair Klink. We truly would not have achieved all that we have over the last 2 years without the NBDB's steadfast support. And thank you to everyone who tuned in to this afternoon ceremonies. See you all at Gintong Aklat Awards 2022.